I got fired, Sherry.
I know.
And in a way, it's great. Obviously, I've had a little time to process before I'm able to say that.
You have perspective.
Never been fired before. 51 years.
Ooh,
Finally.
first time for everything.
I know.
I got fired from my second job.
Really?
Yeah.
Aren't you an overachiever? It's taken me 51 years. I've finally done something that's important enough that it's pissed off narrow-minded people enough that it got me fired. That's a badge of honor.
You're like a little thorn in their side.
That's right.
So they're like, let's just pluck the thorn.
Pluck the thorn right out. But even more so than having the pride around the fact that what we do, I think it's important. It's important to me anyway. And that's all that should really matter because I'm a super selfish person. But in addition to the fact that it makes me feel like what we're doing, we're on the right track, it's also great to be on the same side of something with you. Often in relationships that have distress, which if you are in a relationship where there is problematic alcohol consumption, the likelihood that there is relationship distress, super high. So often when there are relationships that have distress, the conflict is between the parties, between you and me. And it's really nice to be on the same side of something and have a common enemy. I was fired because I write and talk about addiction and sex in committed partnerships among adults. And I also, the thing I got fired from was working with kids. And so some of the narrow-minded amount around us feel like my open talking about a taboo subject makes it so that I shouldn't be around kids. So what I want to ask you, Sherry, is I have really enjoyed, it has reminded me of early days of our relationship when I watched you get so fired up at people. Why are you so fired up at the people who, caused me to be fired?
Like you have to ask that
question? I
question?
do. Mostly because I like to hear the answer.
What? Well, they're making a blanket statement.
Mm-hmm.
They're not educating themselves. No teenager is going to start Googling you and searching and listen. Even if they found out what we write about and talk about, they'll be like, I don't want to listen to that shit.
Pretty boring for a teenager.
They don't care, the two shall never meet.
We're not talking about sexual positions.
Yeah. These will never intersect.
Engage a teenager.
It's so stupid. It'll never intersect. And they just want to, be a moral committee. They just want to judge people. That's where it really pisses me off, is they just want to, make everything to their liking. And if you don't follow us, then you're in the wrong and you're in the minority and we've got to get rid of you. There can be no conversation. This person that started, these few people that started all of it, never engaged in conversation, never wanted to talk to you one-on-one about it, just wanted to be awful and drag everything out. And so then they had, because maybe it started out, they didn't really care for some of the way that you were coaching. And then they had to start digging. I know that you say, you can Google you and you find your stuff. But they had to do a little bit more digging and researching to find some of the stuff that they're talking about. So they're just ignorant, and that's what pisses me off.
Well, I love when you fight for me. I love when you defend me. It makes me feel so loved, and you're very good at it. You're a very good fired up person. In fact, so much so that, I think that the group that the people that I did engage with through the process of me being investigated, and I had to answer lots of questions and sit in meetings and stuff like that. I think those people are lucky to have had me in the meetings and not you in the meetings. And you made me think of a quote from one of my favorite all-time movies. One of my top 5 all-time favorite movies is American President. And, so I want to just read the quote, because it applies in this situation. This is when Andrew Shepard, President of the United States, is finally reacting to criticism about him, and about the fact that he's dating, because he's a widower. He talks about what you do to win an election. He says, you gather a group of middle-aged, middle-class, middle-income voters who remember with longing an easier time, and you talk to them about family and American values and character. and you tell them who is to blame for their lot in life. And then there's a break, and then coming back to it, he says, you better stick with me, because Sherry Salis is way out of your league. He's letting them know that they're better off in a debate with him as opposed to his partner in this particular case, who he is defending in front of all the American people. And I feel the same way. You better stick with me because you don't want her unleashed.
Yeah. You know, social media and the internet, ooh.
Yeah.
There's a lot that you can do with that information you find out there for your enemies.
So the whole situation sucks. It sucks most for the kids. I feel like the kids are the ones being shortchanged in all of this. But there is a silver lining. And in a relationship, having gone through the trauma that we've gone through with my drinking, you know, my addiction, and then your reaction to my addiction, all the conflict, all the mess, all the chaos, all the trauma, all the gross. It's nice to be on the same side of something. It's nice to have you fighting for me.
Thanks.
So this video is about a little win in the face of what could be considered a loss. So thanks. Thanks for being my biggest supporter.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Although I'm sure at times you wanted to stab me in the eye with a toothpick. I'm glad you don't right
During
now.
that all, no, I just kept thinking, why are you fighting for this?
Yeah.
But it was for the teams.
Well, it's great to have you on my side.
Yeah. Thanks.
If you would like to hear more of our opinionated ramblings, please check out the Untoxicated podcast.
And if you're more of the reading type, please go to soberandunashamed.com.
If you are picking up what we are laying down, you might be ready to find your tribe. Please check out echoesofrecovery.org or shoutsobriety.org. We understand what you're going through. You've got this, and we've got you.